After 17 years, TAEHA finally returned to Korea. The air felt heavy, a mixture of memories and the weight of his mission pulling at his heart. Standing at the airport, he muttered quietly, "It's been a long time, mother, father." His mind wandered back to that fateful night, 17 years ago, around 10:30 p.m., in the Gulf of Aden. The thunderstorm had raged across the sea, a monstrous force that engulfed the cruise ship, tearing it apart. The rain was relentless, pouring like an endless cascade as the ship sank beneath the storm's fury. Bodies floated all around him, but all he could think about was his parents. "Mom, Dad, where are you?" he screamed, his voice cracking with desperation. He thrashed in the water, his young arms struggling against the overwhelming waves. Then he saw her, his mother, wounded and barely holding on. "Mom," he shouted, but before he could reach her, a massive wave hit, forcing him underwater. Panic set in as he tried to surface, struggling to breathe. He looked around frantically, the ship already sinking, bodies drifting down. Through the murky water, a light broke through and he saw familiar faces. His secretary, his bodyguard, people he knew, but they were lifeless, sinking further into the depths. His lungs screamed for air as he caught a glimpse of his father's body sinking deeper. "TAEHA! Come on, boy. You can still move, right?" His grandfather's voice rang out, strong despite the chaos. Jin Seoko, the chairman of Cheonggu Group, had always been a figure of power. His face, though hardened by the situation, carried a deep sadness as he looked at his grandson. "Grandpa," TAEHA gasped, clinging to him. "Mom and Dad, they're down there." "I know," Jin Seoko said, his voice low, "but it's already too late. Listen to me carefully, TAEHA. You must survive. You have to inherit Cheonggu." He handed TAEHA a fountain pen, the gravity of his words sinking in. "Take this pen. When you reach Korea, bring it to lawyer Kim In-soo. He'll help you. Don't trust anyone else. You must survive, no matter what." TAEHA, his voice trembling, pleaded, "No, Grandpa. Please, save Mom and Dad first." Jin Seoko, his face softening, simply said, "Your mother and father were already gone before the ship went under." The words crushed TAEHA, but before he could protest further, a violent wave separated them. Lightning flashed, illuminating the storm before everything went black. When TAEHA next opened his eyes, he found himself aboard a ship, surrounded by strangers. He was weak, barely conscious, as he overheard them speaking in Italian. "Hey, he's alive. Capo, he's awake." A blond man stood over him, speaking quickly to the others. TAEHA's vision blurred, but he noticed the strange tattoos marking their bodies. They weren't ordinary people. These were dangerous men, mafia. "Kid, can you understand us?" one of them asked, but TAEHA, still dazed, could barely respond. A woman stepped forward, her voice cold but curious. "How did you get on our ship?" she asked. "A yacht," TAEHA muttered. "Was attacked. People with guns. They killed my parents, my grandfather." The woman studied him with narrowed eyes. "So you fell into the ocean and we picked you up?" She seemed amused, but skeptical. "And you're saying you're the grandson of Korea's Cheonggu Group chairman, Jin Seoko?" Her subordinates quickly confirmed it, pulling up news from Korea. "It's true," they said. "The Cheonggu family is missing, and the case is under investigation." The woman smiled, intrigued. "So, it's real. This is fun." She leaned in closer. "Who do you want us to contact?" TAEHA tightened his grip on the fountain pen his grandfather gave him. "Please," he whispered, "contact lawyer Kim In-soo." Meanwhile, in Seoul, lawyer Kim received a call. "You've seen the picture, right?" The woman on the other end said, "We have the grandson of Cheonggu Group. If you want him back, it's $10 million, cash, within 24 hours. Lawyer Kim, unfazed, leaned back in his chair, a cruel smile forming on his lips. $1 million. If you kill him within 5 minutes and send me the video." On board the ship, TAEHA listened, his face draining of color as the conversation unfolded. Sweat dripped down his forehead as he realized what was about to happen. 5 minutes. That's all they were giving him before his life would be traded for money. "Please," he stammered, shaking, "please, let me live." The woman looked at him, unbothered by his pleas. "Why would I? Didn't you hear? You're no longer the grandson of a conglomerate. They've already decided to kill you. In Korea, they're probably preparing your funeral right now. They've betrayed you." TAEHA's mind raced. His uncle, his aunt, his relatives. Were they all in on this? Had they conspired to kill his family for power? Suddenly, a subordinate rushed in. "Capo, there's an attack. 3 high-speed boats and a helicopter, fully armed." The woman's expression shifted to one of mild annoyance. "What kind of crazy people would dare attack us?" "It must be the people who want the kid." TAEHA, trembling in fear and anger, looked down at the pen his grandfather had given him. Desperate, he stabbed his own hand, carving the mafia's symbol into his skin. "Cheonggu will never give you money," he said through gritted teeth, "so there's no point in killing me. Take me in, and I'll be loyal to your family for the rest of my life." The woman's eyes widened, surprised by his boldness. "You want to join us? You're willing to get your hands dirty, even spill blood for revenge?" TAEHA nodded, his eyes burning with a fierce determination. She smiled darkly, pulling out 2 blades. "This is going to be your future." Back in the present, TAEHA stood before his parents' graves, the wind cold against his face. They must be ash by now, he said softly, looking at the empty plots, because they never found your bodies. But this is still the only place I can give you my greetings. Mother, father. Watch me now as I take revenge. Suddenly, the air was filled with the sound of gunfire. TAEHA instinctively took cover as bullets rained down. Cheonggu Group's security team, led by Lee Jang-gu, swarmed the area. They think they can survive after kidnapping our executive director. The manager scoffed, but within moments his entire team was dispatched, one by one. TAEHA moved with precision, slicing through the guards without hesitation. The manager, left alone, stared in disbelief, clutching his bulletproof vest as it fell to the ground. TAEHA opened the trunk of a nearby car, revealing Lawyer Kim, trembling and begging for his life. "TAEHA, please, I only did what they told me to do." TAEHA said nothing, flipping a bag over Kim's head as money poured out. $1 million, TAEHA said coldly, the same promise from 17 years ago. He lit a match, dropping it onto the pile of cash as it burst into flames. The money burned, and with it, TAEHA's past. As the fire roared, TAEHA lit a cigar, taking a long drag. Grandfather, mother, father. I'm sorry for being late, he thought, but don't worry. I'll carry the weight of everything you left behind.